strategy about footwork. I would like to get into some things, like tell maybe a little story and talk about things that maybe not only will help you, you know, with your tennis game, but maybe in school, maybe in the game of life. And I need everybody to pay attention. I like that some of you have out your phones. You've heard me say this many, many times. When you record it or you write it down, it's powerful. It's powerful. And I really want everybody to get comfortable, because we're going to be here a little bit longer. We'll get plenty of tennis in today. We're going to be here a little longer. I'd like to explain a few things, you know, tell a story or two that, like, some of you might not know, some of you might have heard, because you never hear me, like, really say, like, what I did when I was your age, or what I did when I was this person's age, or you know what I've done. I just try to get better every day, even at this stage of the game. And as I said many times, the most important thing to me is who's on the other side of the net that I'm teaching. You know, that hour, okay, that minute, that second. That's how I look at this stuff. But let me rewind the clock, since, as some of you know, it's a little different day. So I think on certain occasions we should maybe go back down memory lane and just talk about some stuff. And if you can pick up one or two things for what I'm going to say, it's powerful. The first thing I want to get across to all of you, I don't care what you do or who you are, okay, or what your goals are. If you put your mind to it, you can do it. Always remember that. I hope everybody heard that. If you think it, you can do it. It only ends when you give up. If you can't get that stuff right in school, you keep trying. Okay? You just keep trying. When people say no, you say yes. When you don't think you can do more, you do more. And you got to do more than the next guy or the next girl. Just remember that. It's not about who has this opportunity or who's given this or who has more of that. You can do whatever you want to do. Whatever you want to do. And as some of you know, long ago, okay, when I was like your guys' age, I played hockey, and I played basketball, I played golf, and I picked up a tennis racket. So I lived in a park. And isn't it funny? Little circle down the park. I lived a half mile from the park. Long before you guys were born. And I live a half mile from a park. Hey. Nobody to play with. The nets were steel. I know some of you are going, what is that all about? The tennis balls were white. Okay? There was no windscreens. And the courts were so chipped up, the balls would hit and take a left or right turn. But it didn't matter. And there's no one to play. I had a ball, and a racket, and a dream, and a passion. And there was a ward. I hit against that ward every day. Every day. Every day. I hit against it at 12 years old. Hit against that ward every day because I just love the sound of the ball hitting the racket. That ball hitting the board. And if it came back 100 times, I'm going to hit it back 101. Okay? To this day, I never had a tennis lesson in my life. And probably for the last 20 years, I've been teaching more tennis lessons than anybody in the United States of America. And that's a fact. At that age, I said, I want to be the best I can at tennis. Because of one thing, I loved it. Because if you love something, you're going to do it more and more and more. And that's how I started. All right? Even when it rained, I would take out a bucket of basketballs soon as it stopped raining, I'd be practicing that serve. And even to this day, I can hit probably a serve on a dime, even though I might feel it the next day. So at the end of the day, I probably hit more practice serves and better. And that's a fact. If you can't do it any other way, there's one thing you can do. You can always outwork the competition. You can outwork the competition. You can work harder every day. Now, I'm not saying that's the wrong way or the right way. I'm just saying the one thing you got control of is your attitude and to be positive. Then as I started playing tennis, okay, I remember the first tournament I played in Troy, Ohio. I went there, my mom took me, we didn't have money. I went there, had a t-shirt on, I probably had some chocolate on it, white shorts, a T2000, rackets like that big. Some guy that had 4 rackets in his hand, dressed in all white. Before we even started, I knew I was going to lose because that's the way I looked at it. And to this day, I remember that. He beat me 6-0, 6-3. That was age 13. And at age 17, I could beat that same guy 6-0, 6-0, 6-0. He got a full scholarship to Western Michigan. Nothing to sneeze about, but in the rearview mirror. I outworked him. It made me more determined. The more that I couldn't do it, the more I wanted to do it. Practice every day, every day. In a small little town of 10,000 people, right by the road, there were 6 tennis courts, and because of me being out there and doing everything that I was doing, it's like more people started playing, and tennis started booming in the early 70s, and it became like a mecca where I just changed this whole atmosphere. All my friends, okay, I got like 2, I think, okay, I'm just kidding. All my friends, they would hang out there, throw the football, mess around. So the tennis courts, the whole situation changed because of a dream and a passion and a work ethic. And as I started getting better and started beating people, playing #1 on the high school team, right? Then being sectional champion, then being district champion, and then beating everybody by age 17 in the state of Ohio, okay? With no lesson, no opportunity, no one to play. After basketball practice, my best friend, anybody want to guess? Well, besides myself, but me and him have some rough talks. But
basketball?
The janitor. Why?
Because you had to ask him for the keys.
Ask him for the key. Basketball, after basketball practice, I need a key. Just like the park rangers here. They give me a key. What do you say?
That same story happened to his dad.
Same story happened to my dad. My dad had one racket, like balls, really beat up close, and then he played somebody who was worse than him, and he lost 6-0, 6-2 or something like that. And then his coach told because he had like 4 rackets, brand new clothes, and then my dad's coach told him, stop looking at his stuff. You know you could beat him, so beat him. And then my dad beat him 6-0, 6-0.
More rackets, nicer clothes, whatever, had nothing to do. But what we read, what we hear from others. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to get across to you guys, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. Okay? Now, to go really far, you obviously need help, and you need technical help, and got to the point where you could hang in there with college All-American guys that you see playing here, but because of that passion and love to work hard and just love the game of tennis and wanting to help yourself get better as much as others, I got into coaching. Okay? And as we all know, there's a lot of people that do this. And the first opportunity I had to work at an indoor club, some guy who was friends, a lot of you guys don't know this, a parachute, he was friends with Jack Kramer, Don Budge, Bill Tilden, Mick Braden, and on. And after 1 week there, he goes, I think you can be one of the best coaches in the world someday. I didn't even know what he was talking about. I just was glad to have a job and make $200 a week. That's like, I didn't even know what he was talking about. But he saw determination, he saw hard work, he saw that you wanted to help others more than you wanted to help yourself, which is a big part of any teacher, whether you're a math teacher or whatever, having that desire to help anybody else. So what he saw, I didn't know. I was just trying to get better every day. So drive to work all day, from age 21, play tournaments. When it was all said and done, as this thing started to play out, okay, as this thing started to play out, I still played, became one of the better players, but my passion was to help others and to teach. But the core fundamental that you love to do something and you have enough time to do whatever you want. And when some of you say, I play every day. No, you don't. Because if you played every day, you'd play 24 hours. Okay? There's 24 hours in a day. I know you got to sleep and eat, but this excuse stuff, the one thing you got control over, you can outwork the competition. Don't always ask other people for help. No one helped me. All right? And whatever you put your mind to, you want to be the best you can be. I need that other people to make assessments of, like, this guy's good, this one's bad. I don't get into that. Others can acknowledge you for things that you've done. And this has nothing to do with the Williams sisters, or Capriati, or Sharapova, or Meskina, or Pierce, or Roddick, or Tommy Ho, or Spadia, or Christian Root, or Karima Lamy, or I could go Bethany Maddox, Sands, I go on and on. That's all window dressing. What's more important to me is everybody that's right here. It doesn't matter, okay, that if somebody says, you know what, here's your 7th award to be seven-time Coach of the Year, or the youngest ever to go into the Hall of Fame, or youngest ever to become a master professional. Okay, they don't hand that stuff out, and you never hear me like talk about it, because I think being humble, okay, and making yourself better every day is the most important thing. Because the minute you lose that, there's someone behind you wanting to take your place. That's a fact. And you guys hear Kobe Bryant, the basketball player? Read his book. Okay? The inner beast. The inner beast. Okay? He had to get up at 5 because he knew everybody else was still sleeping. He had to get the edge. Even if he was quicker, even if he was faster, stronger, more athletic, in his mind, he had to get the edge. Some of you guys aren't listening. That's okay. I'm just trying to share the wisdom that I have. And you should be listening. Because it's very easy, especially with the insanity that's going on this year, to make excuses. But let's just look back. Look where we're at. Look how this whole thing's been turned into a positive. Look at the atmosphere. And there's still a lot of people here. All right? And everybody's happy. Jason never changed. Rick never changed. Okay? You got control of your attitude and how hard you can work. And if things are tough, you got to work harder. If things are even tougher, you got to work harder. So let me just end it with a few other things. Number 1, always use your mind. Always use your mind. You hear me say this many times. Your mind's either for you or against you. Some of you think it's cold, some of you think it's hot, some of you think this, whatever you want to think. Let me just tell you, the best of the best, okay? Their mind's always for them. 2 people can look at the same thing and see totally different things. Because and the more positive stuff you put into your body, into your mind, you'll become that type of person. You'll be a habit. Just like you eat the same thing or drink the same thing, your mind. This is the wild card. You, as a human being, we use very little of it. I know that sounds crazy. We use very little of it. But when you're positive about everything, and that becomes a choice, that's yours. So you got to use your brain, you guys. Listen, you guys, this isn't playtime. You're not listening. Jay, use your brain every day. Every day. It's easy to get caught up in, oh, I got to get up, and, you know, I'm late, and I got to pay for my car. It's easy to get into all this crazy stuff. Every day, you should want to make better. listening. Every day, make better than the day before. Every day, I got to get better. I got to get better today. Did I get better today? Just because you played doesn't mean you got better. You could have got worse. Just because you beat Enzo for the first time, sorry Enzo, that doesn't mean you got better. This is how you got to look at it. It's not where you start, it's where you finish. So I need everybody, okay, right here to remember, this is the wild card, your mind. Doesn't matter you go to Harvard, doesn't matter you go to Yale, okay? There might be someone here that might be president. You go, whoa, how did that happen? I don't know. If you want to do it, you keep going. You keep going. Don't listen to anybody. Never listen to anybody except your parents. You can do it. Don't think you can't do it. You can do anything you put your mind to. So your mind, that's number one. Number two, hold on a second. Number two, your heart, okay? Your heart. Now, not that I mean that you gotta make sure it's working, of course. What I mean by your heart, okay? You're never ever gonna give up. Ever, 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 ever give up. Ever give up. And there's so many things that are gonna hit you in the face that is gonna make you give up. All right? And other people will bring you down. Get rid of those friends. Never give up. Never, ever give up. People, that's easy to say, and it's a good cliche, okay? It's what you expect of yourself. You have to have heart. You can't do it Monday, Wednesday, Friday, because that means the other 4 days, you're not going to be that good. You hear me say this a lot. Greatness is every day. Every day. You can sleep, you can eat, you can do what you want. Every day. That's how you build your mind into kryptonite. And that's where you see these best players that do have some ability become, or even all walks of business. I was fortunate long ago. I know there might be some Democrats here. I represented a girl on the Pro Tour, and she ended up getting represented by Trump management. I had the fortunate, way back in the day when I was in New York, to come back on the plane with the President of the United States. None of you even, I don't even talk about stuff like that because it doesn't matter, okay? All I care about is you. I don't care about him, but I think it's important that you guys understand, okay, the knowledge that I can give you guys by being around people. Anybody here hear of Henry Kissinger? Vlad, okay? Anybody hear of the Bee Gees? Okay? There we go, now we're getting there. I could just start rattling off 100 famous people that I've given lessons to that you guys would go, Harrison Ford, everybody hear that guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark? They're showing, I could go on and on. I don't care about that stuff. I gotta get better. I'm trying to get better. I'm gonna try to get better tomorrow. Anybody might say, well, no, it's not about that. Just time changes. You gotta get better. But this heart thing, a lot of you, if you would just focus on that 100% every day, run for every ball, never give up, give my best in school, don't make excuses, but expect it from yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. That's what people do in this country. Don't worry about anybody else. Social media, gossip, all this nonsense, it's a bunch of crap. You worry about yourself, okay? It's not where you start, it's where you finish, but you gotta have heart, okay? I cannot stress that enough. And the last thing, courage. This is what keeps people from greatness. They have to prove it to themselves little by little, okay? And they're afraid to fail. Fear, the word fear is just in itself is kind of crippling, okay? You have to have courage. Anybody, anytime, anywhere. I'm not afraid, okay? You can be nervous. If you weren't nervous, LeBron's nervous, Federer's nervous, Rafa's nervous, everybody's nervous. They're not afraid. They're not afraid. It doesn't matter. Omelet, you played rocket. Don't be afraid. I just said that and you're afraid, okay? But train your mind because it's a choice, okay? It's a choice. It's a choice. You cannot be afraid. You cannot be afraid. The more that you fail, the more you're going to succeed. But the people who have courage, they're not afraid to try things. Go to the net. Use that slice. You know, try to do things. I'm talking about tennis. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. It's easy to say. Now, as you get more mature and your brain can reason and you get a little older, then you start to get a little more courage. But I want you guys, okay, to listen to those 3 things that I said, okay? Your brain, heart, and courage. So, did any of you guys see The Wizard of Oz? Have any of you guys seen this movie? Raise your hand. There's a lot there way back in whatever, 1940, okay? A brain, a heart, and courage. You work on those 3 things every day, okay? You don't need to go see the wizard. You come right here to the park, and Jason and I will take care of you. Bang! Let's go. Time to work.